Today, good afternoon. Today, we are going to discuss about the prevention and control of dust explosions in various industries. So, why we want to discuss? Why is this presentation important? Many modern industrial operations create dust as either a byproduct or an end product. In our coal mines, while mining the coal, we produce a lot of coal dust. Some dusts, like your coal dust, can release hazardous amounts of energy when ignited. But which dusts are susceptible? What can be done to reduce the risk of a dust explosion? Why do they occur in your coal mines? This is the topic of today's discussion. So, what is this presentation will do for you? Knowledge. It will give you knowledge of dust explosions, will enable a systematic method of hazard assessment and mitigation, providing maximum protection of the employees and the assets. This training session will focus the application of explosive dust, like your coal dust, knowledge to your process. So you have seen that a lot of energy is released from the coal dust explosion. If you see the history, in 1785, first recorded dust explosion occurred in Turin, Italy. Other incidents in Poland, in USA, in Germany, a lot of dust explosion has taken place in the past. So the first recorded occurred in Turin, in Italy, in the year 1785 for the floor dust. These are the other incidents in Poland, USA, Germany, and Manuga. This is the coal dust explosion took place in 1907. So, further, the wheat dust also has explosion taken place in USA in 1997. Okay. In Bremer roller mill, floor dust explosion taken place in 1979 in Germany, where 14 people are dead, 17 people are injured, 100 million uh, uh, people lost their uh, livelihood. So the government involvement is there in United States of America, Geological Survey, and other things they have done. So today we are going to discuss about the Hartmann apparatus which is used for the measurement of minimum ignition energy. These are the dust explosions. So the testing apparatus, 1.2 liter Hartmann test apparatus is used for the purpose. This is the Hartmann testing apparatus, which uh, you must have read earlier. This is the sphere instrumentation. So those things we have discussed earlier. Now today we are going to discuss about the anatomy of a dust explosion, how the dust explosion looks like. So the anatomy of a dust explosion can be explained, can be understood by understanding the dust reactions, dust reaction demonstration, secondary explosions, identification of explosive dusts. Okay. So understanding dust reactions, prerequisites for dust reaction to take place are finely divided solids that pass through a number 40 USA standard sieve or less than 425 micron size is the required size for the dust explosion to take place. 5 parameters for a reaction to take place. A dust capable of propagating a burning reaction is necessary for the dust explosion to take place. The material size, dust size, finely divided materials have a high total contact surface area with oxygen in the atmosphere. So in coal mining atmosphere, there is oxygen, there is coal dust, and whenever coal dust and oxygen and some igniting source come in contact with each other, explosion, coal dust explosion takes place. The large surface area of finely divided materials allows rapid oxidation to occur. The relatively low mass particles are more easily suspended in the mine air. So what is a reactive dust? Reactive dust, there should be reaction between the dust and the oxygen. So dusts which react exothermically with air. Exothermic reaction is nothing but fuel. Fuel is coal dust. Then whenever oxygen comes in contact with coal dust, so oxides are formed and heat is generated. Typical reactive dusts are natural organic materials, synthetic organic materials, coal and peat, and metals. So we are interested for coal dust explosion, coal and peat, which are related to mining industry, coal dust explosion, coal dust explosion. Okay. So to understand the coal dust explosion or any type of explosion, there are 5 parameters necessary for the coal dust explosion to take place. The 5 parameter is called a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a fire, it is a triangle, whereas in a explosion, in an explosion, it is a pentagon. So dust concentration is the fuel, ignition source is the energy, atmosphere provides you oxygen, confinement and suspension. These are the 5 parameters necessary for the dust explosion to take place. Fuel, you need fuel for burning, so coal dust is your fuel. And you need a ignition source which gives you energy. Then third one is the oxygen from the mine atmosphere you need for the dust explosion to take place. And the dust should be confined in the galleries of the mines. and the dust should remain suspended. It should not fall down on the floor. So these are the 5 parameters necessary for the dust explosion to take place. So from the this is the fire triangle. This triangle is called a fire triangle. So we have studied the fire triangle. So in the fire triangle, 3 parameters are necessary. One is fuel, second is oxygen, third is ignition source. This is called a fire triangle. But for the dust explosion to take place, we have to explain it with the help of the pentagon. So another 2 items are necessary for the dust explosion to take place. So it can be explained through the dust explosion pentagon: fuel, oxygen, ignition. These are common to fire and dust explosion. Another 2 items are there. One is the containment. The material should be present in a confined space, and the material, dust material, should remain suspended. Then only explosion is going to take place. So this is the pentagon theory. Dust explosion pentagon. Fuel is your dust is your fuel, coal dust is your fuel, oxygen is from the environment you are getting, the dust is suspended in this atmosphere, and this is the ignition source. And the material dust is confined in this uh, cube, okay. So then only the dust explosion is going to take place. So this is called your dust explosion pentagon. So this is called your explosion anatomy. All 5 parameters are very important for the dust explosion to take place. Point of ignition is important, flame front is important, pressure wave of cool compressed gas, high pressure generated in containing vessel. So these are the explosion anatomy, coal dust explosion anatomy. So the dust explosion mechanism, suppose there is a spark, and this spark will create a flame front. This is the flame, and this flame will create pressure wave. This is the pressure wave. Red is the pressure wave, and there is fuel or coal dust, and this is the containment zone. This is the containment zone where the dust is accumulated. So this is the dust explosion mechanism. So this is the dust pressure wave demonstration. So this dust deflagration demonstration is given here in this chamber. So this is a Hartmann apparatus. Small scale reaction of finely divided flour mills are given here. Demonstrates the 5 key parameters of dust reactions. This is the Hartmann apparatus used for the demonstration purpose in the laboratory. So here, so this is the confined space inside which there is dust, and you give ignition, so there will be explosion. So secondary explosions also take place from the primary explosion. The secondary explosions can create the greatest injury and damage to the property and the people. It is associated with dust accumulated on the horizontal surfaces. It occurs when dust becomes suspended by the pressure wave and is ignited by the flame front of the primary explosion. From the primary explosion, the secondary explosions starts. These are the demonstration of secondary explosions. So secondary explosion mechanism is like this. This is the explosion, primary explosion. So this primary explosion travels to this area and it collides with the dust, and secondary explosions takes place and it returns back towards the primary explosion zone. Pressure piling. What is pressure piling? Primary reaction in one containment vessel. This is the one containment vessel. Primary reaction takes place in one containment vessel. Flame propagation to secondary containment. This is the secondary containment, preceded by the cool pressure wave, raises pressure in the secondary before flame front arrives. Secondary containment starts reacting at a high initial pressure, creating a higher ending pressure. So this is the pressure piling. This is the bond ignition, flame front, velocity of the flame front, this is the turbulent airflow on bond, and this is the disturbance front, and this is the compressed gas volume. So this is the demonstration of pressure piling. So prevention of secondary explosions. How to prevent the secondary explosions? By proper design of the containment, elimination of one or more of the 5 parameters, venting, barriers and location, stop gates, housekeeping, keep it clean, then only you can prevent this secondary explosion. Identification of explosive dust. How to identify which dust is explosive? Fuel plus oxygen will give you oxides plus energy. Must rapidly oxidize, then only oxygen, then only lot of energy will be released. Typical reactive dusts are natural organic materials, synthetic organic materials, coal and peat. We are interested for the coal dust and metals also. If you are unsure, reference materials, get it tested in the Hartmann apparatus. The fuel parameters like your size, concentration, fuel parameters, dust, coal dust is the fuel. So coal dust parameters are size of the coal dust. We have seen that it should be less than 425 micron size. Concentration of the coal dust, purity of the coal dust, turbulence of the coal dust, it should remain suspended. Get your our material tested. Do not use information from books for your design parameters. Better you get it tested in the laboratory. So how to prevent dust explosion? Use of the Pentagon to help prevent dust explosions. Engineering out the dust explosion hazard. So these are dust explosion parameters: fuel, oxygen, ignition source, suspension, containment. Pentagon. So elimination of dust explosion parameters. If you eliminate dust, there will be no explosion. Eliminate one or more of the 5 parameters. Fuel, reduce concentration below the minimum energy concentration. Oxygen, use inerting agents. Energy, control ignition sources. Suspension, control suspension of dust in the air. Containment, design vessel for explosions. So these are the 5 parameters which can be controlled to eliminate the coal dust explosion in your coal mines. So prevention of a dust explosion, for that purpose you have to use of the Pentagon to help prevent dust explosions, engineering out the dust explosion hazards like dust explosibility results, equipment, quality control system. So generation of design data for explosion protection. Data generated in the 20-liter sphere tend to be more accurate than those from the Hartmann test apparatus. So the Hartmann test apparatus is not so accurate. That is why you have to use a 20-liter sphere for measurement of the explosive energy. The ASTM standard E122600 is used for the experimental purpose. Data generated using ASTM methods employs precise standards for preparation and testing of samples that include concentrations, size, and ignition energy. Generation of design data for explosion protection. The spherical test chamber of 20-liter apparatus avoids the non-symmetrical energy waves that are developed in the tubular apparatus. So this is the 20-liter apparatus used for the explosion energy measurement. This is a cylindrical tube which is not so good compared to this uh, uh, apparatus. Okay, chamber, spherical test chamber. More accurate measurements for rate of pressure rise and maximum pressure developed in the test vessel. So generation of design data for explosion protection, information generated in the Hartmann test apparatus and published in the majority of older reference manuals. When using information generated from the Hartmann test apparatus, it should be tempered with additional safety factors to compensate for the inaccuracies of the technique. Generation of design data for explosion protection, importance of testing specific materials. It is essential to use data generated for specific products. Use of explosion data from what are believed to be similar doses to those in question is not recommended. Generation of design data for explosion protection, tests using scientifically valid procedures, quantifies 6 key explosion characteristics for your dose, which is known as your maximum pressure developed, maximum rate of pressure rise, deflagration index, minimum ignition energy, minimum explosive concentration, maximum emitting oxygen concentration. So these are the 6 explosion characteristics you have to determine in the laboratory to design the data for explosion protection. So maximum pressure developed. What is the maximum pressure developed? This is the Pmax. Pmax is the maximum pressure developed. So greatest pressure generated is called maximum pressure developed, measured in bars. Determines maximum pressure exposure to a containing vessel. Explosion pressure versus concentration graph. This side pressure in bars, this side dust concentration gram per cubic meter. Predicts likelihood of vessel failure. So then another term Another characteristic is that there is maximum rate of pressure rise. Maximum rate of pressure rise. This is the pressure, this side is time in milliseconds. The rate of pressure increase over time at the steepest part of the pressure versus time curve is called maximum rate of pressure rise, measured in bar per second, used to determine necessary venting capacity of closed vessels. Then another index is used which is called a deflagration index, KST. The maximum dP by dt normalized to a 1 cubic meter volume measured bar meters per second allows a comparison of data from different sized test vessels. So KST is equal to V to the power 1/3 into dP by dt max, which is called your deflagration index. Then we have already discussed about the minimum ignition energy, which can be measured by using the Hartmann apparatus. The minimum amount of energy released in a cloud of suspended dust causing indefinite flame propagation is called the minimum ignition energy, measured in millijoules, determines what energy sources must be controlled to prevent ignition of a dust cloud. Then another parameter is measured, which is called minimum explosive concentration, MEC, minimum explosive concentration. The lowest concentration of a dust that can support a self-propagating reaction, measured in milligram per cubic meter, used in designing and operating of explosive dust systems below the level of suspended fuel required for combustion. Then another parameter is used which is called maximum oxygen level, O2 max. The level of oxygen at or below which a dust is not capable of sustaining reaction, reported as a percentage of oxygen in a given volume, used in designing inverted atmospheres or systems processing reactive dusts. Engineering out the hazard. Assume an explosion will occur. Select proper equipment for use with explosive dusts. Follow existing design standards. Include safe maintenance capability in system design. Utilize explosion protection systems. Engineering out the hazards. How to engineer out the hazard. Types of explosion protection systems: by isolation, by venting, by suppression, by containment. Engineering out the hazard by isolation, mechanical isolation, chemical isolation. Engineering out the hazard by venting, by using the ventings. Engineering out the hazard by suppression, dust suppression measures. Engineering out the hazard by containment, dust should be contained properly so that no explosion takes place. Risk reduction with human factors. Operators have the greatest impact on operation safety. Carefully design human interactions with the system. Employee knowledge. The people who are working in the mines, their knowledge employee behavior, how the miners behave inside the mine, design of process controls and displays, task analysis, proper job design can avoid the coal dust explosion. And the management, the coal mines management, the coal mines managers, they have certain risk factors. They have to follow standard operating procedures, SOP. They have to follow standard operating procedures, maintenance of operating procedures, complete set of routine procedures before turning the first switch, training of the people who are working inside the mine, how to avoid the coal dust explosion, audits in mining areas, operator audits, your coal dust explosion audit, environmental audit are to be carried out in the mines to know the danger of coal dust explosion. Operator maintenance involvement is very important. Checks and balances by the safety personnel. The safety officer should take appropriate action by checks and balances to prevent the coal dust explosion to take place. Prevention of coal dust explosion is very important. So you have to eliminate the dust explosion parameters, engineering out the hazards, human factors, risk reduction through management systems. So to uh, uh, eliminate, to prevent the coal dust explosion, you have to eliminate the coal dust explosion parameters, like there should not be coal dust in your mining area, there should not be any ignition source, there should the mine atmosphere uh, should be clean, and the dust should not be allowed to remain suspended, and the galleries should be properly designed so that dust explosion can be eliminated. And for the by proper design, you can also avoid the hazard of coal dust explosion. And by proper training of the people who are working inside the mine, human factors, they should be trained, vocational training should be provided to them so that they will remain alert inside the mine, and they should take appropriate measures for reducing the chance of coal dust explosion. Risk reduction through management systems. The mine management, the safety officer, the manager, they should regularly visit the mine and check the accumulation of coal dust inside the mine so that appropriate measures can be taken to avoid the risk of coal dust explosion, to avoid the coal dust explosion. Okay. So these are the things you have to do to avoid the coal dust explosion. So if any explosion is going to take place, then you should take damage control mechanism considerations regarding explosive dust fires, develop detailed emergency response plans, in advance of system startup, train and retrain on the plans, execute the plans during actual emergencies with patience and diligence. Just 1 minute. So these are the things we should take into consideration to control the damage if any coal dust explosion is going to take place. And a probable scenario in case of coal dust explosion is smoldering or unreacted pile of dust remaining after an explosion. Smoldering pile of dust not yet involved in an explosion. Damage control mechanisms like important considerations for fighting dust fires. For that purpose, you have to de-energize all energy sources so that ignition sources can be controlled, field assessment of the structure, current level of dust suppression, potential for primary or secondary explosions, determine proper firefighting media, do not use high pressure streams of water directed at piles of dust. Key points to remember is understand your material characteristics through proper testing by Hartmann apparatus or by spherical apparatus. Seek help from dust explosion experts. Seek experienced design companies for engineering. Develop management systems to control the risk. Maintain good housekeeping so that dust will not be accumulated inside your mind. Audit aggressively to verify adherence to risk control practices. Have an effective emergency plan. You can take the help from fire explosion protection systems, FENFAL safety systems, references in the proceedings paper, worldwide web search, USA, NIOSH and MSHA. Special thanks. And so this is all about today's discussion, which was left out, which I could not cover in the previous classes before mid-semester. So this is all about dust explosion. So before the mid-semester, we have covered the explosion, both coal dust explosion and coal dust explosion and methane explosion and fire. So today is the 29th October. So in the month of November, we are going to discuss the more important chapters in the subsequent classes. So today, before whatever I am supposed to teach before mid-semester, I have covered. So we'll see you in the next class for the new chapters after the mid-semester. So thank you for your patient hearing. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day.